Here we go. Back again for more gratitude and meditation, trying to feel into that space where things feel a bit more calm. Some of you get my newsletter, and I was just talking this week about this big event that I was in charge of, and we were recording it for home study. People prepaid. I mean, it's a big event, and it didn't. A lot of it didn't get recorded, and we noticed 2/3 of the way into the event, and it's interesting how these tests that come up try your growth, right? They help you figure out where in your nervous system you're hanging out, and not a kudos to like, oh my gosh, look how great I am, but like these times when you can assess how accessible is this space of gratitude to me, right? And where else do I need to put it? And I mean, I'm so grateful for these practices because I do these practices myself. It's not just I'm the teacher and whatever. I do them myself, and the practices for the fall have gotten me through. This is the best winter I've ever had, because it's like training your brain to look for what is beautiful when all around you is gray, training your brain to look for the green when all around you is gray, training your brain to scan your environment and look for the hope, and then to be faced with adversity. And I was in charge of my team and getting my team to that place of, it's actually a good thing because now we have bonus material. It's actually a good thing that to be able to train your brain to look for good. So that's what I'm hoping that you get out of some of these. And not just me, my team members were able to go there real quickly too. So it's like, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this practice? And what are you hoping to get out of it? And what do you actually see yourself improving with? Let's get started here, guys. Either close your eyes or maybe soften your gaze. When all we see is the problem in front of us, sometimes it's hard to find hope. Sometimes it's hard to see the path. Can you train your brain to really notice those things around you that are quite lovely? Let's just take a moment here to really, can you explore? I'm doing this at noon. I don't know what time you guys are doing this, those of you who are on the recording, but can you train your brain to, like, let's go backwards. Think of 5 things, use your fingers and just count. Just grab your thumb until you get number 1, and then grab your pointer finger until you get number 2. Find 5 things that you can already be grateful for today. They can be obvious. They can be, I'm grateful that my coffee was just right temperature. I mean, they can be obvious, but let's just take the time here for a moment and just close your eyes and pick 5 things that you can be grateful for today, that happened today. And breathe deeper than you normally would. Be purposeful with your breath as you're walking through these things to be grateful for. How does your nervous system feel right now as you're accessing those things that you have this gratitude for? It might feel 100% good going there. It might not. It may have just given you a bit of a like oof feeling as you're walking through some of those things, right? Because it doesn't like what's all positive or what's all negative. Be aware of that ping in your body, whether it's a good ping or not so good feeling ping. Just be aware. Be an observer. Pretend to look in your body. Pretend to see your body. Pretend to see that part of your body that might not be feeling good right now, whether you walked into meditation with it or whether that exercise just gave you a little bit of a oof. Pretend to see that part of your body. Right now, I can feel it from the top of my, like the bottom of my throat into like my middle chest. And I'm going to pretend to see that part of my body as I'm deep breathing. So I can create more awareness around that part of my body and link it with my breath. For me, I can literally fill those places up with air, but if it's like your kneecap, you can't. You just have to think about it. Create that awareness. Now we have another hand. Let's use it. Let's start with our thumb. I want you to think about 5 things that you've experienced today. It could be totally little, especially if if you feel like, oh gosh, this might flood me and overwhelm me, then go super, super little. If you trust that you can do this with something big, like I got yelled at by my boss, then go with the big stuff. But if just feel into what level you need so you don't overwhelm your nervous system. Let's go with 5 things that happened already today or last night if it's early, and they weren't great. I want you to think of 5 positive statements that you can say about it. It doesn't have to be like, let's get drastic. Oof, your dog gets hit by a car. I'm grateful that I didn't see it. I mean, it could just be like, I'm so grateful that I had this dog in my life. What a good dog, right? You could be worried about your child failing algebra. You could say something to the effect of, I'm grateful that I have this loving bond with my son, or you can say it in a manifesting way, like pointing all the energy in that direction of, I am grateful that my son is grasping algebra. He's not there yet, right? But you're putting it out there. You're pointing your energy in that direction. So either way you want to do this today, of finding something positive in that whole thing, or pointing your arrow in the direction you want to go and saying it as if you're there. Pick your 5. Feel into your body when you finish and breathe. Just be aware. How did it feel doing that exercise? For me, it did not feel good poking around just looking for negative. Curious what your experience was like. Did you struggle to find negative? Did they all come flowing in? Was it hard for you to go back there? Was it a relief? One more exercise before we take it to a more quiet space. Pick one thing that you really want to practice, how you feel or how you react or how you, I guess how you react is more of what I want to say. Like you want to control it a little bit better, or you want to get like a better grasp of it. And I want you to pick one way of reframing the situation, to think about it in a more positive way. On purpose. Take deep breaths as you do it. And then secondly, I want you to think of manifesting statements. And say you just had, I'll give you an example, just $5,000 worth of dental work you had to do. And you're trying really hard to not focus on the holy cow, I just spent $5,000. And you feel yourself getting sucked down that, like, this is so bad tube. Or this is a made up story. Let's just pretend the slant on it could be, I am so grateful we had that $5,000. It was sitting in an account. I'm so glad at least we had it. And then your gratitude statements, your manifesting statements could be about your teeth. They could be about your finances. Thank you that I have strong teeth. Thank you that I'm figuring out my diet so that I can improve the strength of my mouth. Thank you that I found a dentist I really love and trust. Thank you that I have the financial stability. Thank you for my financial growth. Thank you for my confidence in where I am with my money. Find your topic. Think of the positive way you could look at it if you turned it on a 45-degree angle. And then come up with your statements, the manifesting, pointing your energetic arrow in the way that you want it to go. Reframe and manifesting statements. Go for it. Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Both feet flat if you can. I want you to feel the balls of your feet. Now feel the outside corner by your pinky toe. Now feel the back where your heel lies. Now put it flat on the ground and see if you can wiggle your foot and find all three of those corners. Maybe your toes are up towards the sky so you can really feel into this. Put your toes back down. You're grounded. If your spine allows you, can you straighten your spine? Not to create a C with your back, to scoop your pelvis under just enough to have your spine go nice and straight. Shoulders just nice and back, if your back allows. Feet on the floor, deep breaths. Imagine your breath coming up from your seat. Watch it travel up your spine through the top of your head and back down. As you inhale slowly, slowly use your imagination to track it all the way up to the top of your head. Pause and then slowly exhale, tracking it down your spine again. With your next exhale, watch your breath go all the way down your spine, down your legs, and out the bottoms of your feet. We're going to do it again. And as it reaches the bottom of your feet, give it a visual effect. What is that breath doing? What is that energy doing? Once it hits the bottom of your feet, is it like dripping off into the ground? Give it your imagination as you use your mind's eye to pretend like you can see your breath coming up your spine and pretend like you can see your breath going down and out your feet. Ready? Inhale slowly up from your seat all the way up to the top of your head and pause. And slowly exhale down the spine highway all the way out your feet. Track it with your mind's eye. Imagine you're receiving an energy shawl. It's like the best comfort you can imagine. Imagine the recipe feel of that comfort. And that's the energy that's embedded in that shawl. It's like a big cloak. It's being put over your shoulders. Just wraps around your energy field and just begins to dissolve into you. Use your imagination. Maybe you're wearing the hood over your head. Use your imagination. Who do you imagine gave you that shawl? Offering gratitude for the source of this beautiful energy, offering gratitude to yourself for letting yourself be nurtured, for taking the time to do a meditation like this. Taking some transitional breaths, maybe some wiggling movements, maybe your spine, if it's still straight, can like cat and cow it out, just some gentle movements with your spine. And then when you're ready, in your own timing, you can open up your eyes.